Hi, thank you for joining me today. I'm Sandra at SandraR, an independent UK Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today my project is this lovely little post-it notepad, and I think you'll agree it's going to be very useful to put in a bag or a pocket. It's also got a pen so that you don't have to root around looking for a pen, and there are always times when we need to write things down when we're out and we can't find a paper or pen anywhere. So I think that this is a very useful little gift or project to make for somebody. So we're going to get started on that, and I'll put that to one side. Today I'm using this card called Watermelon Wonder, and the DSP, which is the designer series paper, is called Cherry on Top. So I've taken that from this stack. There's lots to choose from. Whichever design you prefer, you can use. So let's get started on the scoring. So there's not much scoring to do today on this. It's a very quick and easy little project to make. So we score this on the long side, and we score it at 3 inches. Is that right? We score it at 3 1/8 inch, 3 1/8 inch, 3 1/2 inches, and 3 7/8 inches. So just 3 score lines there, and that's all we need to do. So I'll put that out of the way, and we'll just fold and burnish our score lines. Well, I would if I had my bone folder, but I don't. So we'll just score those down using my fingers, as it's just a small project. I think that will work fine. So that's the scoring done. So now what we need to do is we need to cut this little hole for our pen to fit into. So how we do that, you fold the card so that the middle score line is in half, and getting your scissors, you make 2 cuts. So you just eyeball about 1 1/4 inch down and cut through the 2 layers, and then you go down about 3/4 inch and make another cut. Then we open it up, and what you need to do now is you need to keep out the middle part that you've cut and push down the other opposite ends like that, so that you have made a little hole for your pen to go through. So now we need to glue that down. So we need to get some sticky strip. So I've got my sticky strip here, and when I can find the end of it, we'll get going. So you put your sticky strip across the bottom. Let me just check which is the front here and which is the back. I'll just get the book that goes in it, because one side is larger than the other. So you need it so that when you've put your book in, it comes to the front, because this back part here is slightly longer than the top. So you just need to check that you've got that correct, and I have. So we put our sticky strip, I'm getting right gummed up today. Put your sticky strip across the bottom, and then on the top part, your sticky strip. And then I'll just use my pokey tool to just release that off of there. That's good. And then you press that in and down on itself, press down and in, and that has secured that down and now left you with that opening for your pen. So now I'm going to use my corner rounder punch because I want my corners to look nice and rounded. It's just the look that I like. So we're going to just punch the four corners like that, neaten them up to make them look tidy. And then this is the piece of designer paper that I want to go on the front here, and so because I've rounded those corners there, I'm going to just round off the two edge corners round there so that makes that look nice. So all we need to do with that is stick that down, and I'm just going to use some fast fuse today when I can get it to work. So a bit of fast fuse on there. It's not playing ball today. Right, we've got that going. So we stick that down on the front. Like that. And then we get our little post-it notepad and stick some glue on that. And then I'm getting all stuck up today. I need coffee. So you just position that so that it's just in the middle of the card, but butted up against your edge. Hold that down, and that's stuck in there nicely. So I'm just going to get my pen. It's going to go in there. So we position that in there. That's the pen done. All that I need to do now is to just put some pretty little embellishments on the front of the card. So I've got my little sweetheart punch, and I'm going to punch out a couple of hearts, one in the Watermelon Wonder card and one in some nice silvery glimmer paper, and I've just shut it across the floor. So, oh dear. Right, pick that up. So I like a bit of bling, and I think any lady would like this in her handbag, so I'm going to position them at slightly different angles. So getting my fuse again, I'm going to stick those down. I'm going to position that at that angle. Bit of glue on here. And position that, I think I'm going to have that like that. And then I'm going to put just a little bit of bling on that pink heart, little rhinestone, like that. And that finishes our project off, and I think you'll agree that that's really rather sweet and very useful. So that's my project for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and if I can help you with a catalogue, or you can shop via my online website, I'd love to hear from you. So until the next time, bye bye.